Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As you can see from the title card, we are not going to continue our rogue run, but we're going to do a quick arena detour. And so I decided to pull the trigger on the arena. I think we need a couple more resources for our rogue to advance past. Basically, it feels like we're stuck at rank 18 rank 8, between rank 18 and 17. Seem to be fluctuating there for the last couple of episodes. So I have decided to go and play Gul'dan and see what resources we could pull out of this arena run. And arena is usually great value. You always get at least one pack, and if you get some gold, all the better. Get some gold, get some dust, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, before I start, I want to talk about drafting strategies. Your arena drafting strategies really need to be reliant on the win condition for your class. The win condition for the Warlock class is to have a quick start and overwhelm the opponent with life tap plus cheap and efficient minions. Having said that, I think that Doomguard is excellent. If I can draft like a Zui deck or a very low mana curve deck, there's a good percentage chance that my Doomguard will only discard one card or 0 cards when he's played. And even if he discards 2 cards, it's still fine. Now here's an interesting pick. Swing cards and removal are very, very important in arena. Very important, especially for classes especially for classes whose hero powers can't affect the board. So I think I will stick with my original analogy of picking fast and picking swing cards, because the Warlock hero power life tap draws you a card and deals 2 damage to you. Life tap by itself has no tempo, but the tempo is generated from the card being drawn and that card itself having fast tempo. So I'm going to pick the Shadow Bolt. Frost Ellie is not bad. But I don't know if I want to pay 6 for that freeze effect, and it doesn't actually swing. It's swingy. It affects the board quite strongly, but it's a little slow. I think Pit Fighter here is the correct pick. Dreaded. Ooh, okay. Again, card draw in Warlocks, you can usually skip it. You can usually down value card draw. Although Gnomish Inventor is always a fairly good card. Drain life. I think I'll pick the Dread Infernal because it serves 2 purposes. It's a big minion, and it also does a board swing. If they have a load of 1/1s or things on 1 health, it's pretty good. Giving me a lot of bad picks here. Jormungandr I do not like. It is ridiculously slow. It doesn't challenge any other 7 drops that I can think of. The other 7 drops I can think of that has 5 health is Ravenhold Assassin, and it'll be hidden from your Jormungandr. So the Ravenhold Assassin will always get value. This thing is way too slow. I think I actually picked the Drain Life. Is that really something I want to do? Yeah, I think Corruption is a little slow also, because your opponent still gets a turn to use their minion, and that's basically like, if you put Corruption on it, they'll just trade it off and get value from the minion. Your corruption will be worth 0. I think I have to pick Drain Life here. The Jormungandr, I am not a fan of the Jormungandr. Wild Pyro is not bad, but Little Exorcist, given the level of given how efficient death rattles are in minions such as Harvest Golems, Piloted Shredders, and Haunted Creepers, Little Exorcist can often do a lot of work, but other times it might also not do much work. No good. Blackwing is basically the only pick here. The others are a little trash. Leper or Tiger? This is my philosophy when it comes to picking arena. You might be tempted to pick strong late game and high value late game, which I definitely consider Tiger to be high value late game, because it gets stealth. It always gets to attack before it dies, or 90% of the time it gets to attack before it dies, unless you're talking about something like Deathwing or Twisting Nether. But if you don't get to the late game and you don't get to draw Tiger, you're gonna be dead anyway. Now, Leper Gnome isn't great, but a Warlock needs to start fast, so I'm going to pick Leper Gnome, thinking along those lines. I think I'm taking Crusader here. Voidwalker is fine, but Voidwalker is very reliant on buffs, such as Direwolf Alpha and Shattered Sun Cleric, and there's no guarantee that I will pick it up. Voidwalker is really more of a combo card in Warlock, I feel. That's my opinion anyway. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to pick up the Crusader. It's great. It goes 2 for 1. Ooh, no spells, no good. Questing is slow, but not too bad. It's not a bad finisher, actually, for Warlock. You can drop the questing, tap, play 2 cards, something like that. But Bomb Lubber is excellent in Arena. It's a huge swing. The stats aren't great, but the swing is really strong. Now, do I want the Bluegill? Shattered Sun I'm not thinking of because I have so many 3s already. And plus, Shattered Sun is very reliant on early game, which means that if I pick up some more early game, I might think about a Shattered Sun. Now, do I want the Bluegill or do I want the Stone Splinter? Stone Splinter is slow, Bluegill is fast. I want to start fast. Abusive or Harvest? Again, Abusive is fast, Harvest is slow and has high value. This is a tough pick. For me, anyway. I think I actually go Abusive. Since, given the amount of 3s that I have, I don't want to overload my 3 hand. I want to overload the 3 part of my curve. I'll go Abusive. I want to start strong, and Fearsome is good, but Flame Juggler is even better. It starts, again, the whole Warlock game plan for this draft is to start quickly and put on pressure with efficient low minion drops. Nucleus is excellent, but I do have to think about the Hellfire. The Hellfire allows me, it is a really strong board flip. If you find yourself getting zooed, Hellfire can save you. Now, I think I have enough finishes. I love Nucleus though, because Nucleus, if you're winning, and if Nucleus hits 2 minions, you're basically done. And if it stays alive, the game's over. But I think I take the Hellfire just for the board flip scenario. If I'm really far behind and if I draw a Hellfire on turn 4, I'll play it and then we reset. And that's not too bad. I'd love to see another Nucleus though. Ooh! Battlecry, Discover a 1 cost. Now this is really interesting because this allows me to put on even more pressure, but the Swamp Ooze allows me to take down weapons which are very powerful in Arena. But given that weapon classes, I mean, Pally is very popular. The Warrior I'm not so sure about right now given the LOE expansion. Stormpark isn't bad either, but I think I take the Peddler. I want to try the Peddler because I get to play it, and then I get to tracking. So if you guys don't know, Discover is like it's like adding tracking to a card, but the tracking, it doesn't track your deck. I think it doesn't track your deck. It tracks the card pool, and you get to just choose 1 of 3 cards as you see there in the description. So I'm going to go with the Peddler just to see how it goes. Nomagan is no good. Blood Imp, nah, I think it's too slow. I think I have to take this Dark Scale, and the Dark Scale actually is not bad in a Zui deck. Because if you drop it on turn 5, you most definitely will probably be healing yourself because you probably would have taken damage or tapped. So it gives you gives you some more health to tap. And if your minions have been trading and have been buffed and so on and so forth, and it heals them up, you can allow them to do even more trading and gain even more value. So Dark Scale is a good card. I like it. Voidwalker. I don't think I take the Voidwalker. Although I could. 1/3s are not too bad. It challenges 2/1s very efficiently. But I do want some taunting. I do want something to buff the Voidwalker. I think 1/3 by itself. It dies for free for 2 drops. It dies for free to any 3/2s, which I coincidentally don't have. The toss-up is between an Ice Rager and Stormpike. How many 3s do I have? 1, 2, 3. I could do with some more. Ice Rager is not too bad, and dropping it on turn 3 is not too bad. It'll always take some resources. It's much better than Magma Rager, which has only got 1 health. Will I reach turn 5 to play Stormpike? Will I hedge and say that I will reach turn 5? How many early game drops do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 early game drops and I'm halfway through. I think I want some more, so let's go Ice Rager. South Sea or Wolf Rider. Wolf Rider is pretty good here because it's a guaranteed charge. This thing needs a weapon, although I could pick it for tempo just to have something to play on turn 1. Ooh. No, I think the guaranteed value from Wolf Rider, I should be valuing that. Dark Bomb is excellent. These 2 cards are also excellent, but removal in Arena is king. If they develop, say, something like a Micro Machine or a Whirling Zap-O-Matic, having a Dark Bomb in your hand when your board is empty is so powerful. And like I said before in my Arena run, in my Rogue ladder climbs, having removal is great for protecting your board. and ensuring that it gets tons of value. Second Doomguard. My curve isn't too bad. It can probably take a second Doomguard, and Doomguard is tons of value. Yeah, let me just think about pint sized. Let me just think briefly about pint size. I can finish with double Doomguard. There'll be situations where I'll have 2 Doomguards in hand. I'll be discarding one of them. No, the value from Doomguard is too high not to take both of them. Mistress is good, but I don't have anything to buff it aside from the abusive, so I'm not taking that. Secret Keeper is kind of rubbish. In a non-secret class, you can't buff it yourself. Then I think I have to take Saboteur. Saboteur is not too bad either. A 3 for a 4/3 is actually pretty good stats. And locking out your opponent's hero power can be quite important, especially on key turns such as turn 7, which is Mukla hero power. So I'll have to keep an eye out for Mukla hero power, and Voldia Raider is a 6-drop plus hero power, so I think it's a 6-drop or was a 5-drop, I don't remember. But keeping those turns in mind, because those cards are very popular in Arena. Okay, Clockwork is... No, I think I take the Ooze. I could take the Pit Lord. The Pit Lord's not bad. I don't have a ton of health gain. I mean, I've got the Drain Life. I don't want to rely on that. I think I take the Ooze. Ooze just for early game presence. Okay, Heckler. I really like Heckler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I pick up the Heckler. Heckler does a lot of work against 3-drops. Most 3-drops don't have 4 attack, unless you're counting Saboteurs and Injured Blade Masters. And that's about it, I think. So Heckler can provide a lot of protection for your board. And how many 2-drop? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have enough 2-drops for now. I'll pick up Heckler just to make my hand feel a little better, make my curve feel a little better. Abusive is great here. Already needed a couple of more ones. Fen or Ice? Fen is actually not bad. Late game taunts are pretty good and pretty useful. Because if you're falling behind, they can protect you. If you have a board, they can protect the board. So they can be both defensive and aggressive. So Fen, I'm thinking about Fen. Second Ice Rager wouldn't be too bad either, but I already have a ton of 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3s. That's too many. I think I take the Fen. Brew or a second Shadow Bolt. I may actually want the second Shadow Bolt because I have 4 2s. I could use more 2s. If I can start quickly, then I can use the Brew and whatever other 2-drops as removal. Given that I have tons of 3-drops already, I think I'll take the Brew. And the Brew gives me... the Brew is pseudo card draw because it brews something back to your hand and you get to play it again. And it's actually quite powerful if you can set it up correctly. Worgen, I like Worgen. Tournament Medic actually might be a good consideration, but I feel it's too slow. The Inspire effect is nice on Warlock. Basically makes your hero power cost 0 health. Could also think about Tall Strider. Now, having 4... I think I stick to my game plan of Zoo. Push them down with Worgen, Flame Juggler or Haunted Creeper. I think I go Flame Juggler here. I think it's more active. Haunted Creeper is only good if it gets popped. And how am I going to pop it? With some abusive, that's about it. Usually in a Zoo deck you have multiple ways, such as Argus, Sun Fury, Shattered Sun, to make it more powerful than a 1/2. By itself, if you just leave it on the board and don't kill it yourself, like as an opponent, it doesn't do it. It's a very gentle card. It doesn't do anything to you. Okay, Lord, no. I have my Doom Guards for finishes. I don't want to pick up Lord. I'll pick up the Ooze though to start quickly. Ancient Shade. No. Argus is great. Argus again is a defensive and aggressive card. Allows you to protect your board and also allows you to set up something. You know, if I'm falling behind, I can play 2 1-drops and Argus up and set up some taunts. Okay, so I will disappear briefly into the YouTube vortex and get this deck list up for you guys before we start doing actual arena games. Okay, I've returned. Let's hop back in it. I'm just going to queue up, and as you can see on the left hand side here, I have reset our win-loss counter. This will be a separate win-loss for the arena, so you guys can keep track of where I'm at, how I'm doing. Let's see how we go. Oh, also, just as we wait for the opponent spinner to finish up, I've noticed that there are new mirror match emotes in Hearthstone. Now I put together a little slide to show you guys what they actually are, but I encourage you guys to go into game yourself and encourage you guys to go into game yourself and have a look at what they are. Yeah, I want one of my 1s or 2s. I've got so many 1s and 2s that I can't afford to hold for a 3. I can't afford to hold a 3-drop. So let's do this. Now, the thing I've been finding about Arena is that the 0-win games have been actually quite difficult these days. I think that's got to do with the rise in popularity of Arena helper websites. I forget exactly what they are. I'll put them in the show notes. I think it's like whatever, a draft helper, whatever. It's like on Hearthstone, whatever. I think most of the Hearthstone websites have something. I think I play the Peddler. Let's see what I can find. Ooh. I take the Young Priestess. Young Priestess is very strong late game. You play Young Priestess with something else and it'll buff the health of your other minion, essentially making your other minion, increasing the value of your other minion by maybe like a quarter of a mana, something like that. But still, and the creature itself represents a significant threat. So I like the card. It's a strong 1-drop, and I definitely will be playing it later. Okay, is that what you plan to do? Yeah, so I find that the 0 and 1-win games, like before you rack up some losses on your arena runs, I tend to run into very strong, very efficient arena decks. Okay, and I will develop the Ice Rager, potentially baiting out a Frostbolt or an Arcane Blast of some sort. Hopefully. Yeah. Yes, I find I usually run into very stiff competition, especially if you go up like 2-0. You're definitely going to run into an Arena Helper deck, and it's a little like, you can. The way I tell is that the player has excellent cards in deck, but makes multiple misplays. Ooh, that's not so good. I will spend my Murloc to get 5 damage in and force him to use some more removal. So I tried this first. It was a 50-50. Didn't get the 50-50, but the 1 damage on his face is still fine. And the Murloc, I'm trading off a 2-drop for a 3-drop, which is fine. Like it's a good trade for me. More temp, and it protects my really powerful Ice Rager. And we are in a very strong position in this game. It's sort of going according to plan, as you might say. Start quick, deal with their board, and finish the game with a life tap. And we won't even need to life tap for a while. Actually, this is a great combo. Ooze, Argus. I didn't realize that when I was drafting the Ooze. I'll definitely try and wait till turn 6 to Argus up the Ooze so that I get 2 Oozes. That's what I like about Arena. You get to see all these cards that you normally wouldn't play in quote-unquote meta decks and net decks. They're just not quite strong enough. But in Arena, sometimes you're forced to pick them, and sometimes you pick them for synergies, and you get to discover all these cool synergies, and it's really a great place for ideas for decks that you might play on the ladder. So that, after playing this, I might consider playing a token druid with Echoing Ooze and Argus, although I know it's not that great. But still, it's fun. Like, if you had fun playing through the arena. My opponent AFK'd. Let's tap. If you have the luxury to tap, like say you're not super far behind, I think you should always tap. My health value is fine. It looks like my opponent's AFK, so this is a free game for us to pick up, which is good, which I'm happy with. But on the flip side, we will be running into some stiff competition. You go to 1-0, you're definitely going to face some Arena Helped, quote-unquote Arena Helped card. Arena Helped decks. Okay, what do I want to buff? This thing has the most health. Let's put it over here. So I want to buff. So this makes the biggest wall that I can to protect my frail minions. And we have an enormous wall. But yeah, this game is just a formality. Anyway, yeah, going back to the mirror match emotes, really fun, really good. I will talk about them towards the end of this video, you know, maybe in the last 5 minutes. And we will see how we go. Okay, excellent. Racking up 1 win. Yeah. Nice, really good to see that yellow circle. And we can get some Warlock unlocks too. That's really good.
You'll upgrade your prize key.
Hopefully we can at some point unlock every class and then gain some, you know, gain the packs and the gold. Anyway, here we go. Okay, I'm feeling some arena help reach, because if I was going to play arena and I had a choice of picking Pally, I would always pick Pally. Pally early and mid game is very strong, as you've probably seen from my mysterious challenger analysis video. Although, you know, it's not a guaranteed thing that you pick up all the early mid game cards, but Pally's have a ton of well, Pally's specialty is the mid game. Okay, what am I going to do here? Do I brew this back? No, I don't think I actually want to brew this back. Since I have 2 3s, I will develop the technician. And what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to keep the Worgen Infiltrator hidden. I don't want it dying to a silver hand. I want it actually to take down a 3/2 or a 2/2 minion or something along those lines, or being able to be buffed to take down something bigger than. That's a little annoying, but it's not too bad. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know if I would have done that swing. Do I brew? No, I don't brew. Do I cash in the... Yes, I do. I cash it in now because next turn is Consecration turn, which will clear my board. And also, there's already another one health minion on the board, so they're basically the same thing. Okay, there's no Consecration in his hand. I should play accordingly. Okay, that's not bad. Wolf Rider. The hand is a little slow. I think I will do... I will clear, brew this back, and do I play the abusive for tempo? Given that I don't think he has... I think I made a misplay there anyway. When I went face, I should have abusived up my Blackwing. I missed 2 damage. Hopefully it doesn't make a difference, but it may very well end up making a difference. But making the read that he has no Consecration, I think that was an okay play. Ooh, okay. Doomguard. Doomguard is fine. I will tap. Let's see what I find. Saboteur is actually... I think Saboteur is actually the better play here, because 4 + 2 = 6. You always want to represent some sort of way to take out his board. If you can set up a way to take out his board, you always want to represent that. Okay, so there's the sword. That's not too bad. It draws out a sword charge. Well, you're worried about your health total. Okay. I think at this point I might be able to just go aggressively for the face. If he's going to use the sword to clear high-powered minions. Ooze. Okay. Is it worth playing the Doomguard? I don't think so. I think I just keep developing. And I'm going to clear the Spectral. Yeah, so this feels a lot more... this is a lot stiffer competition. This feels a lot more like an arena helper deck. And there is our Enjoy Raiding. So that's a turn 7 play. I should have thought about... Okay, this is going to be problematic. This card... Cards that are... Inspire cards are very apt. They're very good at ending the game. If you get to the mid-late game and you have a hero power which is fairly efficient, like Pally or Shaman, they basically end the game if your opponent doesn't have any hard removal, which makes hard removal in Arena a very, very important thing to have. Okay, what is that? Most likely to be Avenge. Pallys tend to pick Avenge. Would they also pick Get Down? Possibly they'd also pick Get Down. I can't have that thing I can't have that thing be avenged, so I have to Shadow Bolt it now. Redemption, that's not too bad actually. Gives me a very simple and straightforward clear. And the Heckler is gonna do a ton of work here because his guys don't deal with it. He's either gonna have to find another sword or send his or that. But that's still okay because so he has to make a choice. Do you send in the king's up dude, or do you send in your lady that makes more dudes? And I think he's going to send in a lady that makes more dudes because the king's... I think that's a bit of a misplay because you're not playing around. You're not playing around.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
So free Doom Guard, always good. Tap before I attack just to see if it changes my play. Excellent. Free Doom Guard is such a good feeling. It's been so long since I've done that, because I don't play net decks. I don't like playing Zoolock. This is part of why I play Rogue. People say, "Oh, Rogue is dead. Rogue is no good against XYZ," and probably isn't. That's why we're having so much trouble. Yesterday I was doing some questing on my primary account just to get enough gold for League of Explorers, and I just put together a trash tempo mage, full of spells because I had that spell quest. And oh my god, I went from rank 18 to 14. It's just a little ridiculous how good certain cards and decks are. Like Flamewaker. There, Flamewaker. 3 for a 2/4. Every time you cast a spell, shoot 2 random missiles at enemies. Flamewaker is... I feel it's a little strong.
Ready, sir.
Although I don't play with mage a lot. Only when I have quests. I feel that it's a little strong. Suffice it to say.
It's getting hot in here.
That wasn't great. Yeah, so see, we've fallen behind here, and there's not much you can do about it as a zoo deck, and I don't have a ton of hard removal, so prospects for this game aren't looking good. I really needed to find... we're done anyway. I really needed to find Hellfire there. And I think I tried to dig for it as much as I could, but no such luck. Okay, whoops.
One more level and you'll unlock
Oh, nice to know. Okay, well, let's do one more game before we wrap, and I'll talk about the hero emotes. Yeah, so I'll put the in the show notes. I'll put a link to the Hearthstone Arena helper websites. It's just, I don't know, I'm not a fan of them because I like to learn the game myself. I like to gain a deeper understanding of the game instead of having someone else tell me what to do so I can win. I think that losing is part of a game's experience, and before you become good with something, become good at something like Hearthstone, you need to be really bad at something like Hearthstone. And the arena helpers help people to mitigate being really bad. And I'm sure I understand the sentiment there. I understand that you don't want to feel bad, you don't want to lose, but it's part of, honestly, it's part of growing up and being an adult. And maybe it's like all kids who use it, that's fine with me. Just facing a challenge and overcoming a challenge, no longer how much that takes. I see the value in that. I like the value in that, and I don't see the value in it's arena helper, sort of like a cheat sheet. You bring a cheat sheet to an exam, and then you'll do okay. But do you really understand the concepts? Do you really understand why you should pick this or that, and why you should make this play or that? Maybe you do. Maybe the arena helper will help you learn those concepts, because it'll start you off telling you what to do, but then in the future you might actually think about what you might want to do on a personal level, on your based on your play style and based on the decks that you like to play. That could very much be the case. Okay, Ooze is excellent here, and I think I will reveal the Worgen. Not a huge issue to reveal Worgen against classes that have slow hero powers. Basically anything that doesn't deal 1 damage, because he'll either need to use a minion or a card, and in this case it'll have to be a Power Word Shield to buff this up into a 2/3. Obviously he doesn't have a Power Word Shield, otherwise he would have used it. Okay, yep. So I'm going to make the read. He has no Power Word Shield in his hand. I definitely would have used it there. Actually, maybe not definitely, but High probability chat. So then I get to have the cheapo trade of my ooze into his loot hoarder, which is great. Draws him a card, but yeah, it's fine. I wanted to protect my Ice Rager. My Ice Rager is going to start doing a ton of work. And getting him to cast a Shadow Pet... My mind is frayed. A Shadow Word Death on an Ice Rager is like excellent. At this point... do I still want to develop the Heckler? I think what I'll do, since it clears my board anyway, is I will clear this and develop the Heckler. I got 7 damage in. He basically passed his turn to clear my board, and I got 7 damage into his face, and I develop a Heckler. There was a consideration to leaving the Heckler up, to leaving the sheep up, and then playing the Heckler, but the sheep would have just run into my Heckler, cleared my board, and left the Heckler at 1 health. So I think it's more valuable to preemptively clear the sheep and use the Heckler, have the Heckler at full health, especially given that I have a dark scale, so that Heckler can trade into XYZ and heal it, so I can heal up myself, and both myself and the Heckler. So we're looking pretty strong here. It doesn't look like he has a Shadow Word Death. I think he would have played it fairly quickly if he had. So let's see where we go with this. Okay, light spawn, that's fine. That's so good. See, this is why I like Heckler. This is also why I like Big Brew. Now, do I just ignore it? Do I just ignore it? I could spend these two. I don't really want to spend these two. I just ignore it. But if it gets buffed, but does he have buffs? No, I'm gonna wager that he doesn't have buffs. He didn't buff his loot hoarder out of range of my guys. And plus I have a ton of removal in hand anyway. If he runs into the Heckler, if he runs a buffed up light spawn into the Heckler, I probably have what are you doing? Okay, so obviously going 1-1 has increased my chances of winning. Yeah, so see, it's so easy to tell in the early game what's a arena helper deck and what isn't. And this clearly isn't. This is clearly a beginner player, trying out the arena for the first 5-6 times, and learning his or her stuff, and that's cool. That's part of the experience. The way you could tell it was an arena helper is like there'd be power word shields in there. There'd be really strong common cards. You can easily tell, but they'd still be making misplays, and that really leads me to believe, arena helper class. Arena helper deck. And like I said, all the power to you. If you want to play the game the way you want to play it, I have no.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here.
I've got. My mind is blanking. I've got no complaint there. I think that's right. Yeah, I've got no. Sorry, my mind is blanking. I'm just going to drop it. Got no. Let me put that in the show notes. Actually, I got no something. Okay. I think that we clear this and see if we can get some Flame Juggler value. It's a 2 out of 3 chance to clear. Oh my god.
My shield.
Still okay.
Sneak attack.
It's a 1 in 3 chance of not getting the Flame Juggler value. Come on. That's the way things work. And still, dealing 1 damage to face is still significant because he can't directly deal with my board. It's going to be very difficult for him to clear my board, even with something like that. He just doesn't have the number of minions, and okay, so he has the Holy Nova, which isn't too bad. So clear, and I can still apply 5 damage to face. I'll want to tap to see if I can find a Doom Guard, and that'll end the game. Yeah, I think it would have been a done deal if my Flame Juggler had taken out one of the 1-drops. I'm sorry, not the 1-drops, the 1 health minions. Dread Infernal. Yeah, let's do it. I'll use the Dread Infernal as a swing. Basically, Dread Infernal deals 3 damage to face and clears his board. Because I'm also clearing my own Argus, but it's a big minion, and he hasn't used a death yet. He may well have drawn into a death. But looking at my hand, being able to tap into things that charge and so on and so forth, I think we're in a pretty strong position. Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Okay, so I will record the win before. Okay, no. Let's not record the win. I don't want to preemptively BM him on my win-loss counter that's only on my video. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Well played. And Priest is actually really strong in Arena. I like Priest in Arena. If you can get ahead, I like playing Priest like in a Zooey style with Valens and Shadow Word, Power Word Shields. Watercore, nice. If I ever switch to Warlock, which I may consider doing one day. Okay, so I think we're going to start wrapping that up here. But before we do, I'm going to talk a little bit about the mirror match emotes. So, as you can see here, there are so when you match up against the same class as you, the emotes have changed. Previously, the emotes were the threaten emote. So with Valeera, because Valeera with Rogue, I know Rogue the best. That's why I immediately noticed that it was a new emote. Before she said, "I will be your death," which is the threaten emote. Now she says, "I always do." So the first Valeera will say, "Watch your back," and the second Valeera will say, "I always do," and so on. And same goes for the rest of the Hearthstone classes. Now, this is a great change. I love it when Blizzard adds any sort of flavor. It's just adding some flavor to the deck. I mean, adding some flavor to the game makes it just a little bit more interesting. Introduces a little bit more lore. It's great. My only complaint is Garrosh says, "Ha ha ha, bring it on." Rexar says, "Bring it on," and Jaina says, "Oh, it is on." Basically, variations upon 3 variations, 3 out of 9 classes say a variation of Bring It On. Now, it's fine. I like the fact that they're even doing anything. Just my only feedback would be, maybe you guys can, record something that's not Bring It On. Maybe Garrosh can say, like, I don't know. Maybe you guys can send in some feedback as to what the Bring It Ons, I'll put this in the show notes as well. So, send in feedback for Bring It On replacements. Let me see if I can think of any. What would Garrosh say? What would fit his character? Something like, I don't know. Let's skip that one. Rexar, let the hunt begin. Bring it on. I've got my pig with me. Something like that. Prepare to face Huffer. That would be hilarious. Prepare to face Huffer. And Jay, but that sort of gives it too much of a sly wink and a nod to face hunter decks. And Jaina, come on, you asked for it. You don't know what you're in for. Something like that. Something with a little bit more character. But that's just feedback. I love the fact that they're actually even doing anything with the class emotes. So I like that. Okay, so this is an especially long video, and I will get into loading that up. Okay, so I want to thank you guys in advance for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all of those good things. I do this for the love, and any gesture of appreciation from you guys means a lot to me. And until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. It's a weekend where I am, and this is NoDust signing off. See you next time.